Hey y'all, it's John, aka Whiskey and Sound, and I'm back with another episode of Boilermaker Mondays. So, keeping up the theme with collaborations between Whiskey Maker and Beer Maker to create essentially a Boilermaker package, I thought that I'd, turn it up a notch, or turn it up a knock, and you'll get that with what I'm about to tell you guys about. So, I'm going to take it back to Scotland this time around with a little bit of Australian influence. Now, that is because we're going to be visiting actually, or we are going to be revisiting because I believe I've done a Boilermaker pairing with this particular whiskey before, but now I'm going to actually do the pre-designed Boilermaker package. So, because I remember, and I'm going to be completely honest here, when I first tried the pairing at Boilermaker House, I actually wasn't a fan. But I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt now and try this out with a fresh palate because the first time around I tried it, my palate was already smashed after a tasting. So I've had a few drams and then I've gone to go visit this particular Boilermaker and it just didn't agree with me. So I figured, you know what, I'm going to do this right now, fresh palate, and no other external influences coming in from anywhere. So it's strictly about the whiskey and the beer, which I'm about to partake of now. So if you haven't already figured out what I'm talking about, it is whiskey number 2 from the Speak Easy group. And they collaborated with Bladnoch Distillery. So the first whiskey that we had already tried was a Highland Park 14-year-old for Mjolner. So they're based both in Sydney and in Melbourne. Boilermaker House, set up in Melbourne, was the second restaurant to then come up with a 18-year-old Moscatel cask beast from Bladnoch Distillery. So this was a single cask release of 275 bottles, and I love this whiskey on its own. I do not have to have this in a Boilermaker. It is enjoyable on its own. It's just a beautiful, chewy mouthful kind of, spicy, fruity, and woody or oaky flavored whiskey. So I'm not going to crack that particular bottle open because that's my good bottle. That's my collection bottle. I have a pre-decanted number, which I'm going to pour in now and let air out whilst we're talking about the beer. So what actually happened is they had gone through these single casks and one by one, Nick Savage, who is the latest head distiller, that's it, or master distiller. And this was the one that impressed him the most. And there was somebody else that was involved in the team, which I can't remember his name, Greg something or other. I know I could be corrected and in the commentary, or I could probably write that down in the comments afterwards. Now they, lovely, just lovely. And this was the cask that they've gone, yep, we're happy to do this. So once they've selected this cask, it's gone off to Black Hops, who are based in Queensland, Burley Heads, I think they are. And Black Hops Brewery come out with a spiced amber ale, which was designed specifically to be paired back with this particular whiskey. So I've had a couple of amber ales. So this one, I need to revisit this, and I've learnt little tricks with my darker beers, and that is to not be shy in letting them get some airtime. Because once they get closer, I won't say to room temperature, but once they've dropped from fridge temperature or refrigerator temperature, they start changing character. They start opening up a bit more. So I'm going to now pour this bad boy in and let it air out just a little bit. So, and whilst we're pouring this as well, got a beautiful colour on it. Yeah, very good. Now, I say spiced amber because they did throw in quite a few spices to go with this afterwards. So on the can, it does mention that this was brewed in collaboration with Boilermaker House in Melbourne to complement their exclusive Bladnoch Lowland single malt Scotch whisky cask, showcasing autumn sown Maris Otter barley, soft chewy caramel, and chocolate malts, gently hopped with Amarillo, lending refreshing orange citrus notes, then subtly spiced with wormwood, cardamom, licorice root, and citrus peel. So, by rights, we're going to be in for a bit of a treat. And they named this thing, if you can see it, Noch Out. And it's called, I'm not going to stick my finger up at the camera, it's called Noch Out. Spelt in the way Bladnoch is, or pronounced in the way that Bladnoch pronounces the name of the distillery. I've heard some people call it Notch Out because it would look like Notch, except it's missing the T in the middle. But it's pronounced Knock Out in collaboration with Bladnoch. So that's that Boilermaker pairing. Right. I am going to go the whiskey first. That's what I'm going to do, because I'll tell you what, this Monday has called for it. I really have been hanging to do this whiskey right now. So, slunge of up, and it's got such a gorgeous nose on it. It's just so fruity and spicy and just oily. Yeah, that's a whole lot of Moscatel right there. It's heaps of cinnamon, nutmeg. You'll get dates, or like stewed dates, or stewed prunes. So vanilla spice, yeah, like cinnamon sugar is probably what I'd get on this. That's probably what I'm picking up. Yeah, notes of it's got notes of toffee in there, or actually, I can't. No, I won't say toffee. It's more like it starts leaning towards like either molasses or treacle, something along those lines. Like it's more golden syrupy, so that's probably more what I'm picking up on the nose automatically. Now this, I don't have to sit there and give this a great amount of airtime because it's already had that. As the bottle's been going down, and it's already had that much air in it, so there's a little bit of oxidation. So I could essentially just get straight into this. So, and I'll coat my palate, and then wait for the spiced amber ale to warm up just a little bit, and I'm hoping it's going to do exactly what I'm expecting it to. But I could be proven wrong, and I really hope I don't have the same impression that I did when I tried this at Boilermaker House. So, all right. Whoa. Talk about a Christmas cake fruit bomb. Spicy. And that shocked my palate, so it's got that little bit of a prickle. It is 48.3%, so feel free to add a little bit of water to it if you want. I actually won't. I'll let that second sip coat the palate properly. It's got that medium finish on it, which is really, really fruity, spicy. It's not overly tannic, but it's got that perfect harmony of the oak influence, or that barrel influence, and the fruits that you'd expect from a Moscatel cask. So, and it's 18 years fully matured as well, to my knowledge. I don't believe this was finished off in the cask. It was actually a full maturation. So, which I'll also confirm, but I'm pretty positive it is a full maturation. So, right. Oh, now that my palate's woken up, just fresh after work, so I'm gonna have another sip, and then I'm gonna rinse it down with the beer, and we'll see what happens. Gorgeous whiskey. Really gorgeous whiskey. Okay, so spiced amber ale. Do your magic. Let's see what happens here. So on a beer rinse. Yep, you definitely get that orange. Definitely get that orange peel. And definitely get that licorice. Yeah, you know what? That's actually changed for me. And I get why they've put those two together. That does actually work well. I think it's just it's a harmony of spices and fruits. That's what it is. So it's just, they've obviously created, Black Hops have obviously created this beer to just intensify the fruits and the spices to, give you a heightened experience of enjoying your Bladnoch. So, and that is actually quite refreshing at the temperature it's at now. So it's actually really nice, and I'm expecting this as well, like over a bit of time, to open up and give me that little bit more as well. More so with the spice characters, I do see them opening up a bit more. So whether it be in the next 5 minutes or so, and so be it. So what I'll do now is actually, you know what? I'm gonna warm it up a little bit whilst I'm actually talking about. So this particular whiskey as well, originally, because being a single cask and being so select with the 275 bottles, the original plans, if COVID didn't butt in, as it has with everything else this year, because 2020 can just go to hell already. The original plan was that these were only going to be available. 30 lucky people were going to be picked in a ballot through Boilermaker House to buy the actual bottle, and then the rest were going to be used in-house with Boilermaker House. Whether they sold that afterwards or what have you, was purely at their discretion. But because Boilermaker House got affected by COVID, like every other whiskey bar or just any hospitality-based venue, they then Bladnoch come to party and said, "Well, why don't we just open up the opportunity for people to buy these bottles online?" So they scrapped the ballot and made it available for people to purchase through the Bladnoch website. So, and I believe there are still some bottles left. I don't think there's a great deal left. So if you are interested, check the website out. I'm not too sure about the availability of the beer. That may have run out by now. But if you can get your hands on it, it's actually starting to sit pretty with me. And I get why they've done the pairing the way that they have. Or I can respect why they've done it the way that they have. So, yeah, that beer's starting to open up now a little bit with a bit more room temperature affecting it. It's starting to open up nicer now, like that orange peel, that citrus, that spice, heaps of licorice on it, heaps of licorice. That's prominent. So. Yeah, that is really spicy. Nice. Very nice. Okay. Now that I've had a beer wash, let's do a whiskey rinse and see which way works better. Oh, and now just on the nose, the orange peel is starting to dance on the nose strings. So this is this is where the harmony starts coming in. So I get why they've done it the way that they have. Now I'm starting to appreciate this particular Boilermaker a lot more than what I definitely did prior to trying it at Boilermaker House. So It's amazing what a fresh pellet does. I will say that. So, and you do need that fresh pellet with a Boilermaker. It's not a matter of just getting, absolutely shit faced on on a Monday night, or a Friday night or a weekend, because you've got a high strength beer and cask strength whiskey or whatever you're pairing with. It pays to have that fresh pellet so you can actually enjoy why you would pair the two together, what third element it'll bring to the table. That's what you want. That's why we love our Boilermakers as much as we do. All right, so let's now go with our whiskey rinse and see how that goes. If you can hear that, that's whippersnipper in the yard. Okay. Oh, that's definitely fun any way that goes. And then there's a lot more fruit interaction. I feel like for my palate, there's a lot more fruit interaction going from beer wash to whiskey rinse. When you go from whiskey wash to beer rinse, you get a lot more spice interaction. You get a lot more. Yeah, there's a lot more fruit interaction with what I've just said now. You get a lot more spice interaction on the beer wash, on the beer rinse, and whiskey wash. Sorry, I just got confused for a sec. So if you go, let me reiterate. So, all right. I'm kidding. I knew what I was after. I was just looking for another excuse just to get into that again. All right. So on the whiskey rinse, you get a lot more. You get a lot more spice interaction. Definitely. On the beer rinse and whiskey wash, you get a lot more fruit interaction on the finish. So it's definitely fun either way you try to take those particular pairings. So I can appreciate why they done the pairing the way that they did, and I rate this one a lot higher than what I did when I was at Boilermaker House. So yeah, definitely have a fresh palate when you're having this particular pairing. If you get access to these beers, then do so. And if you have the beer already, but you can't seem to get your hands on the whiskey because they've either sold out or you just can't get access to it, hit me up. I have a few drops left to send out a couple samples. So if you're really keen to try it, I'm more than happy to send out a sample. So then that way you can enjoy that particular Boilermaker. So, right, that was a very pleasant Boilermaker. Very, very fruity, very spicy, and it was it was just an intense experience, but a pleasurable intense experience. Like it's grabbed a fruit cake or like a Christmas cake and just gone, right, you need more fruit and more spice, a touch of wood, and Boilermaker. So I hope you all enjoyed my review tonight. I will be back with another review next week, obviously. And it will be another pairing. We'll bring it back to local. And I better start putting some scores up actually. So, because I have put these scores down, but I just haven't written them down on my YouTube. So I've been quite slack, and my apologies for that. I will start putting up some scoring and rating which Boilermakers are taking the lead from a daily drinker point of view, a session drinker point of view, and it's just overall harmony or balance between the two beverages and overall scores. So there will be a couple more, and then the next treat that I have coming up, just to give you a bit more of in advance what to look forward to is Scotch Malt Whisky Society have provided me with some samples, and their challenge is to pair them back with some beers. I am going to look forward to doing this. So we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 whiskies to pair back with beers. So keep an eye out for those episodes that are going to be upcoming once I've done these this collaboration shootout. And also, did I mention Highwayman? That's all I'm going to say. Keep an eye out. So stay posted, like, share, subscribe, support. Please follow my activities. Feel free to ask any questions. Throw me your feedback. And if you think I should be doing a bit more of certain things, let me know. If you think I'm doing a kick-ass job now, let me know. So, because ultimately these reviews are for you, not just my benefit on a Monday night. So, thank you all for staying staying on the line with us and following my channel to date. We have had about 17 episodes so far, and it's been really fun. And I've got a lot more content coming up. So yeah, please stay posted and keep following. So I'm going to enjoy the rest of this Boilermaker, and I bid you all a good night. And until next Monday, I'll catch you then.